I have next to me world's oldest car. Guess the maker. And if you want to know more about the history, well, I have the perfect guest to really walk us through a lovely down the lane memory of the oldest car to the most modern car. Thank you very much for
Thanks,
joining us.
Nikuj, for joining us at Mercedes-Benz India.
And we are actually standing next to the world's oldest car.
Yes, this car was how automotive industry evolved. 1886, this is the first vehicle, motor wagon we call it, which Mercedes-Benz took out on public roads. And this is how cars came of age in the world.
So this is how the first car looked like.
Yes.
And there is the engine.
So the engine is right here. What has happened is it's a single cylinder engine. The horse carriage has been replaced with an engine. It's a simple thought if you look back in history. But yes, this is how mobility started.
Last couple of years have been extraordinary for luxury car maker. There have been more demand. There have been long queues. But off late, which is last 3 months, at least the data which is coming from the organized sector seems to be indicating that a slowdown is there. Is it true for luxury car as well as for Mercedes India?
So I can't comment on the total luxury industry because there are some players facing challenges. But for Mercedes-Benz India, we are very much poised for a clear double-digit growth. The last quarter as well for us, July to September, we had excellent sales. And I think we will also end. We follow Jan to December calendar year. We are pretty confident to end the year on a double-digit growth. I think most of the cars like the EQS SUV Maybach are sold out. The new E-Class, which we have just introduced now, is again 3 months of waiting for the car the moment we have launched the car. So I think there is clear demand for newer cars, newer products, and for us, we don't see any slowdown impact. In fact, we see a much more stronger demand from a younger target group that's coming to our brand.
Which is the cheapest Mercedes in India?
It's the A-Class. It's still at 52 lakhs on road. But
52 lakhs on road.
On road, but generally we don't say about the price. We talk about EMI because you can still own this car at around 50,000 EMI a month, and I think that something makes customers get into the brand much faster because of course the cars are fully loaded. We don't compromise on safety, so all of them have to be there, and so it starts at 52 lakhs on road, and then of course we have the GLA, GLC, and so.
And which is the most expensive one because that's why you don't have to worry about the EMI.
Wow, the most expensive, let me say, will be the guard vehicles. We have armored cars, the S-Class armored car, again used by a lot of heads of state and also the top business tycoons in India as well. That goes up to 12 crores. But otherwise, if you take a non-armored vehicles, it's the G-Wagon, the S-Class Maybach, they are at 5.5 to 6 crores as such.
What is the average waiting in the non-armored vehicle?
Wow, the G-Wagon today, if you book a car, you will get end of next year.
End of next year?
Yeah, if you are lucky because we have right now even closed the bookings.
If someone knows you, if they send you an SMS
no,
personally?
we have a transparent
like
process,
okay.
Otherwise my phone will always be ringing. But the G-Wagon, the S-Class Maybach, these are cars which have a much more longer gestation. We import them. The EQG, the electric version of the G-Wagon, around 3 crores, even that sold out for India for the next 12 months' time.
So what you're confirming to us is that, look, there could be a bit of a slowdown here or there, but at least in the luxury car segment, you can speak about Mercedes India. Yeah. There is no slowdown whatsoever.
No. At this stage, we see a very strong demand for across our portfolio.
So nobody should expect Diwali Dussehra discounts?
No. We have it. I think it's a sentimental issue also. If we don't give any offers. So we have mostly finance-related offers, some insurance offers. So offers are on, but that's again more so in the entry and core segment. But in the new cars, for obvious reasons, we can't give any offers.
So this is the first EV of Mercedes to be made in India.
Exactly, not of Mercedes, but in the luxury segment, the first luxury EV to be made in India. We started this during COVID, the project, and this came in late 2022. And it's been 18 months ever since launch. More than 500 cars on Indian roads, almost 1 EV a day, you can say we have been able to sell this in India.
Is Mercedes, now that India has become a large market and the numbers you've given us, in fact, are quite inspiring. And I understand that Mercedes last year crossed a turnover of about 10,000 crore.
Yeah.
And if the growth continues, 15,000 is coming very soon.
Absolutely. I think for us, we are not chasing only the top line. That's there. I think we are quite profitable. Also, our dealer partners, our suppliers, ecosystem, we have to be conscious of that fact. But more importantly, I think we are also changing the way retailing in luxury segment is done in India. So if you see, we are also the only brand to do direct-to-consumer retailing. Here, our dealers act only as agents. And that again completes 3 years now in India. India was the first country To start this model, today I'm proud to say Mercedes-Benz globally, Germany, UK, Australia, all of them have shifted to direct-to-consumer models.
So what should I expect from today's test drive?
Well, firstly, what the EV offers is quietness to start with, and I think it will be a short drive. I would say apart from the car, you can also see a lovely facility around.
Look forward.
I would say yes, because the car you can always experience. But since you are at Pune and at a
your company is
lovely
also
facility,
there.
yeah, please.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, let's go.
So is Mercedes ready to make made in India cars for India?
We have been, as I said, we were the first to come to India way back in 1994. It's been 30 years we are in India. We have 11 cars that we make in Chakan in Pune in this factory, and we will continue on this journey because 95% of the cars that we sell in India are all for the market. Specifically, also, engineered for the market. We have been making a lot of changes in the car in terms of design, ground clearance. So that's a continuous effort, and we will continue to invest in India.
There's a comment of yours which in a sense got a lot of attention, that luxury cars sales are not doing well because money is going to SIP. I have been told the other way around now. The SIP investors are selling and they're cashing out and buying luxury cars.
See, I would say, frankly, they both are
You
symbiotic.
should be thanking the SIPs.
No, I am always, my point of view was here that there is, India is in a well, okay, and if you look at all statistics, all reports, the number of billionaires, etc., we have a lot of billionaires in India. But of course, car still is not the first choice. The first starts from house. Then one wants to save for their social security reasons, and for that social security, for their end of retirement or for your children, you start with SIPs, which is great. Lot of consumers also buy cars with SIPs, as you rightly said. But of course, as marketeers, we would wish that, with these cars today can be bought with 50,000 to a lakh of EMI. So, and there are many Indians who can easily spend a lakh of rupees as a monthly installment. And so, this question was an answer to why is the luxury car market not growing exponentially? We are growing, but is it not an exponential growth? And that can happen when the prioritization of spends or investments changes. We are still wanting to be a bit more conservative. Of course, the young population today is much more open. They have the YOLO life. So definitely you can see them spending much more. They don't look back and spend. But yes, that was the context of the comment on SIPs, I would say. But they are symbiotic,
But I'm assuming you have both. You own a Mercedes and you have SIP also, right?
For sure, for my investment, absolutely.
I'm sure you've seen that very famous picture on Wall Street. There was a year it was hard to find a car on Wall Street, and then 10 years after that it was hard to find a horse carriage on the Wall Street. I'm sure you've seen
Absolutely
that picture.
right. Absolutely, it's a very nice, description of what things may be in store in the future.
Did that happen to you?
I think EVs, as I said, EVs will be there to stay. The cars are here to stay because consumers will need mobility. But combustion engines would be a thing of past, more from environmental reasons. I personally grew up with combustion engines. I love the smell of gasoline. We love to drive these cars. But if we don't care for our children and for the next generation, we are also not responsible. So in that sense, I am a bigger fan that EVs will be there to stay, and we need to push actively and educate the customer for the transition.
Thank you for the ride. I think it's just that there was no sound. It did not feel like you were in a car. It was like a machine on wheels.
Yeah.
And the experience, I think, has been extraordinary.
And imagine this drives autonomously now. So in the US, in China, in Germany, we are level 3 autonomous. So you can do some Lego games in the car. You can actually do your calls and meetings, and the car drives autonomously.
So tell us about where we're entering now.
So this is our customer experience center. So a lot of customers, sometimes they want to personalize their Maybach, look at, the color options. Also, we have a studio here where they can select the textiles, what goes into the car. So we get them here, they customize. Also, we have a small SUV track where they can take an SUV experience. So yeah, this is about our home, and we also use it for internal town halls and gatherings.
The luxury car market in India had this deep swell or big uptick post-COVID, the number of 25-30%.
Yeah.
But do you expect the luxury car market in India to grow above India's nominal GDP, which is 10 to 12%?
I feel in the long run, the double-digit growth should be there for sure. But there are a lot of factors. On one side, the price of these cars are also going up because some of them are dependent on exchange rate. The euro used to be at 70, 80 sometime back. Today it's at 93. So that puts pressure on pricing. And more the cars become expensive. Maybe it has a direct impact on demand as well. The other factor, of course, is also the prioritization of, as I said sometime back, housing still remains prior one, luxury housing is still prior one. But with a change in the generational shift, we are pretty confident that over a period of time, the double-digit growth story should continue. So the demand.
I'd like to draw your attention to one debate which already started by auto experts, which is that the electric car has a shelf life or a life cycle which is much lower than the ICE car, which is that every 3 or 4 years you'll have to change the battery. Does that mean that the value of the second-hand electric car market will be much lower, and that in a sense could change a lot of things for the EV market in India, because Mercedes gets a true value also because of its second-hand car market?
You are absolutely right. Now let's talk about EV first. And the life of the battery is a misnomer. It's for 3 to 4 years. The issue is our muscle memory is coming from mobile phones, handsets, laptops, and we feel after 4 years, its battery will not work. However, when you talk about cars, we are giving a 10-year battery warranty on an EQS SUV. So that's a warranty to start with. If you look at the life of the battery, the state of charge reduces by 5 to 10% in 10 years. That means if the range is 500 kilometers, in 10 years, the range will be 450 kilometers. So there is considerable life left in the battery. I asked the other way around. What happens to a combustion engine after 15 years? And what happens to an EV after 15 years? An EV, now I can talk about Mercedes-Benz, our batteries are so advanced that 97% of the battery can be recycled, which means the future minds of cars are lying in our current cars. So the value of the car, so if you extrapolate the residual value of an EV from 15 years backwards, I think it's much higher than combustion engine, because combustion engine, the recoverability is 50-60%. So in that sense, the car has more intrinsic value in terms of content. Secondly is the taxation on cars. If you look at a combustion engine, on an average, it's 65 to 68% taxed. EV is 5% in markets like Bombay, wherever there is no road tax. So intrinsically, when you buy an EV, you are buying $95 worth of content compared to $32 worth of content in a combustion engine. So that again, it has more value. However, residual value is also based on new car demand. So if the new car demand is strong, so if there is, in next 3 years, if in India, the EV wave comes up, there will be a big market for used EVs as well. Because the misconceptions will change. Customers would love to buy an EV, and when they buy a 3-year, 4-year-old EV, they know that the life is there for another 10 years, 15 years, and this cycle changes. Today, you are right. The residual values are a bit challenging because one, some of the brands have dropped prices. Secondly, the new car demand has been challenging, and all this misnomer on the life of the batteries, etc., adds to the anxiety, and it's there. But it's a matter of time. I think as corporates, we have to, I would say, educate customer. We are also giving a residual value guarantee with our cars. We say that at the end of 3 years, we can give you an X guarantee for the car, and so that fear is mitigated.
So at least you pretty much know that where the pricing is moving. That's a comfort the customer always wants.
Exactly.
And which is one of your competitors also now trying to do MG when they're coming out with a buyback value.
Yeah, they are more in the premium mass segment. I would say for us, I think right now for EVs, more is welcome. I think as many players come, I keep saying that if you look at the auto retail in India, less than 8 to 10% of auto retail today sells an EV. 90% of auto retail outlets don't sell an EV. So
there comes a time when your heart calls for you to arise. Plant your feet solid into the ground. Decide your own limits. And then break right through them. Become something more. It's my time to rise.